YouTube, what's up? Welcome back to a new video. If this is your first time here on the channel, thanks so much for stopping by. Definitely check out some of my other videos, and if you like what you see, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. So today I want to share with you my top 10 games from 2023. Now, I could have easily done a top 15. I'm going to be real with y'all. I could have easily done a top 15, but I narrowed it down to 10, and they're even ranked, which I usually don't do, but I did it this time. So top 10 games of 2023. These are the games that I consider the best games to be released last year, or at least that I played. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so I'm gonna start off with number 10. Number 10 goes to A Space for the Unbound. So I've never really been one to get into point and click adventure games, and that's no shade on the genre. It's never really been my bag, right? And that's from like when I was a kid. I always found myself getting stuck and I didn't know what to do next. And that's part of the reason why I almost didn't play A Space for the Unbound. I'm just really not into point and click adventure games, right? But A Space for the Unbound definitely reeled me in, and it had a lot to do with the artwork. The art is just for real, it's just beautiful. You got these pixelated, just beautiful colors, vibrant, bright. Graphics are just amazing in this game. I did mention that A Space for the Unbound is a point and click adventure game, but it's a point and click adventure game in the most modern sense. I really didn't find myself struggling to figure out what I'm supposed to do next as far as like puzzles go. It was all pretty much clear cut that the focus definitely for this game, at least for me, is placed on the narrative. And I thought that was great. And that narrative definitely goes places. I mean, it has a little bit of supernatural stuff in there. It's a little bit of mystery as well. And it gets a little dark. And I'm not even going to front, at the end of the game, I got all the feels. Definitely the game is giving feels towards the end. So yeah, I really loved A Space for the Unbound. It's a fantastic indie, and I'm hoping we see something from this studio in the near future. Sliding into number 9 is Pikmin 4. Back in the summer when Pikmin 4 was released, I did talk about how impressed I was with this game, just because the series has never really clicked with me. I expressed to you my disdain for video games that have that time crunch, the time constraints or restraints, whatever the case may be. I don't like games like that. And that's part of the reason why I never really got down with the other games in the series, right? But Pikmin 4 gets rid of all of that. And it's great. It's so much fun. I was hooked on Pikmin 4 in the summer. I definitely was. I mean, we went on vacation. I played the game. Perfect game to play on a plane. I played it on the plane while we were out and about. Well, once we got back into the hotel at night, or sometime in the late afternoon, I'd play some more Pikmin 4. I was hooked on the game, and it's one of those cases where after the credits rolled, I still continued to play it. I didn't 100% it, but I played a bunch of Pikmin 4. I absolutely love the addition of Oatchi. I think he's the cutest pup ever. I also like the fact that they have these night expeditions when you can go out and, do some exploring at night with your Pikmin, and things get a little crazy. And I also like the little dungeons that they added. You can go down into these like little mini dungeons and do your thing, do the real-time strategy thing with all your Pikmin. It's a great time. I had fun with it. Definitely deserves a spot as one of my favorite games of 2023. Number 8 goes to Marvel's Spider-Man 2. And to be quite honest with you, I really feel like I don't need to say much about this game. This is like the perfect summer blockbuster movie, right? But it's on the PlayStation 5. Graphically, the game looks fantastic. I think it is a beautiful looking game. As far as the gameplay goes, it's buttery smooth. So much fun. That combat is just so much fun. And my favorite thing, though, is definitely traversing through New York City. The best thing ever. That web slinging, it's special. I like the way that Spider-Man 2 kind of split up the narrative between Peter Parker and Miles Morales and kind of meshed them together, right? I love that. I wish that Miles got a little more time to shine. I definitely, if I had to choose, that Miles Morales would probably be my favorite Spider-Man compared to Peter Parker. I just feel like Miles has a little more style. But that's my personal opinion. I also was a little surprised with the narrative in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I loved how they brought in Venom. That was dope, and the way that happened, way that played out. And I also, some of the side mission stuff got me a little teary-eyed, and I talked about that before, but yeah, I got a little teary-eyed for some of the side mission stuff in Marvel Spider-Man 2, which is really weird to say, but yeah, another game that gave me the feels. Number 7 definitely goes to Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I won't hold y'all too long for Super Mario Brothers Wonder because I literally just talked about it in my last video. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. But I will say that I literally had a smile on my face. Like, I was grinning from ear to ear every time I played Super Mario Wonder. Like, honestly, I was. Mario Wonder just has so much charm to it. I absolutely love the Wonder Seed sequences. I thought those were super fun. I also really appreciate the online component of this game. I mean, it's not your traditional online, and nothing with Nintendo is traditional when it comes to online. I think we've kind of all established that. But I like what they did with the online as well. I know it's been a while since we got a new 2D Mario game, and this made me feel like I was a kid again, honestly. It just evoked some type of nostalgia for me that just put a smile on my face. Number 6 definitely goes to Hogwarts Legacy. I know the game sold really well, so I'm not going to say a lot of people didn't play it. It sold well. But I also think that there were people that didn't give the game a chance and didn't want to even be bothered with it because it's associated to Harry Potter and, J.K. Rowling, the author, isn't a good person at all. And I get that. But I went ahead, played the game, and felt like I was a student at Hogwarts. I mean, clear cut, really did feel like I was at Hogwarts. The fact that you're going to class, you can explore the school and the grounds, around it. There's another whole section that's basically the town that you can explore. This game, there was so much going on in this game, and it took me a really long time to complete it, and not to complete it at 100%, but just for me to see the credits roll. I feel like this game came out in February, and I didn't beat it until like mid-April. So yeah, I was playing a lot of Hogwarts Legacy. The thing that I appreciated the most, considering the fact that this was an open world game, is that it felt like a living, breathing world. Like, characters, NPCs, while you're just standing around, they're going about their day-to-day business, right? They're talking to each other. They're sitting down and like eating lunch outside underneath a tree. You know what? The fact, like I said, that it felt like a living, breathing world was nuts to me. Wasn't expecting that at all. I also really enjoyed the story and the combat in the game. I mean, honestly, I could go for a Hogwarts Legacy 2. Let me know when it's coming out, because I'm there day one. All right, we've hit the halfway mark. Number 5 is going to Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars started off a little slow for me. I didn't play the demo, but when the game came out, I purchased it. And it was a little slow in the beginning of the game, right? A lot of chatting, very chatty. But once we got to the combat, I knew this game was for me. I knew I was going to love it. This is an indie RPG that somehow manages to feel like it's a love letter to like 90s RPGs. It's really crazy. Like, seriously, it has the vibe of like Chrono Trigger and Super Mario RPG and like Secret of Mana. It's nuts. But with Sea of Stars, the thing that I really enjoyed was definitely the cast of characters. I thought the characters were really fun. And I also, the thing that I enjoyed the most was definitely the combat. It has the same feel as like Super Mario RPG with the time button presses. And if you do a good job, your attacks are more effective and you can block and take no damage, right? And I love I love that combat in RPGs. And I definitely have to mention the fact that the soundtrack in Sea of Stars is phenomenal. Number 4 is going to Dave the Diver. Dave the Diver is definitely something special. It really is. It was just so much fun to play. It was cozy, but yet stressful at the same time. I talked about that in video that I did in the summer. I talked about like the games that I was cozying up to in the summer, and Dave the Diver was definitely one of them. I started playing the game on the Steam Deck, and the moment that I heard that it was coming to the Switch, I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. And I sure did. When it was released on the eShop, I went ahead and downloaded it and played all the way through it. And there's absolutely no reason why I spent 45 hours in that game. I don't think it's meant to be that long, but it took me 45 hours to see the credits roll. Overall gameplay loop is definitely what kept me coming back. The fact that you play as like an older gentleman, a middle-aged scuba diver, that doesn't look like he's in shape to do it, but somehow manages to do a great job. The fact that you explore the sea, you go down into this abyss for the most part, and there's all different types of mysteries down there. You're trying to catch fish to prepare for the night, the evening where you work at a sushi restaurant, and you're actually like serving up sushi, right? And pouring beer and all types of stuff. It's so crazy. Cleaning up, busboying the tables is wild. And the game is just funny. I mean, the writing is so well done. It's awesome. Like, it really is. I mean, there's so many weird things that happen in the game, and it's just quirky, and that's the thing I love the most about Dave the Diver. Game number 3 is definitely going to Alan Wake 2. I enjoyed Alan Wake, the first game that came out back in 2010, right? It had its issues, especially with the combat, but I really did enjoy the first game. Alan Wake 2 comes out, and in my opinion, just totally, outshines the original game. Alan Wake 2 is definitely a different type of vibe. I feel like Alan Wake 2 is definitely more now of a psychological survival horror game, whereas the first game really wasn't that scary. It's super weird because Alan Wake 2 made me feel so many different things when I played it. There were times when I was playing it where I felt super anxious, especially when I played as Alan. My anxiety was like through the roof when I played, and I didn't know what was around the corner. I didn't know what was going to happen next. It was super dark. Like, I just felt so anxious. And then I would get to a part where I didn't feel anxious anymore. So I felt, relief, because I was like, whew, okay, we're clear for right now. Let me do what I got to do. And then there were certain parts of the game where I was just like, is this really happening? And I definitely don't want to give anything away, but I was like, what is going on right now? Like, I was intrigued by it. I was like, wow, this is nuts. And then, like, of course, I felt scared. So there were just so many different types of emotions that I felt while playing Alan Wake 2. But I also enjoyed the inclusion of Saga Anderson. I think she's a great character. I loved going to her mind place, which sounds a little crazy to say that out loud, but I liked going to her mind place and dealing with the case board and putting up clues onto the case board to try to further the investigation. I thought that was really cool. The game isn't without its issues, right? I feel like Alan Wake 2 still kind of suffers from the issue, for me, that the first game did, and that's the combat. That's definitely, and the shooting, all that stuff, that's definitely the weakest part of the game for me. Just the narrative in general was enough for me to be like, wow. And the way that it was told is the most impressive thing also. And I really like the puzzles. I love the puzzles in Alan Wake 2, except for the damn math puzzles that you had to do for no freaking reason, right? Why are we doing math puzzles to open up cold stashes? I don't know, but I did them anyway. We're almost at my number 1, guys. Number 2 is Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. I was so happy when a new Theater Rhythm game was announced. I honestly thought that Square had forgotten about the series, just because I feel like it's been so long, right? But I loved those Theater Rhythm games on the 3DS, 2 pieces, played them all the time. Final Bar Line is a lot, the value is all the way there. There are over 380 songs in this game, and that's just a base game. There's a bunch of DLC, and I haven't touched a whole lot of it. There's a bunch of DLC for this game, but off the break, over 380 songs. That's ridiculous. There isn't really much I can say about Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line, except for the fact that it's a fantastic rhythm game on the Nintendo Switch. When I first played the demo for Final Bar Line, something felt a little off. And I don't know if it was the fact that we were using the buttons as opposed to using a stylus. It just felt a little off to me. But once I put some time into it, and I was like, this is where it's at. I'm telling you, this is where it's at. I even spent a bunch of time playing the game online. And again, we've already talked about Nintendo's online infrastructure and how nothing that they do when it comes to online is traditional, but playing Final Bar Line online works for me. All right, we've made it to number one, the number one spot, number one game of 2023. Y'all want to take a guess to what it is? If you guess The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you're right. It's my favorite game, the best game of 2023. I definitely won't spend too much time talking about Tears of the Kingdom because I feel like I've talked about it a lot, right? It's a fantastic game. And that's coming from someone that really loves traditional Zelda. Matter of fact, I think this is a fantastic game and I love it to pieces, just like I enjoy Breath of the Wild. I actually like this game more than Breath of the Wild. But with all that being said, I still want a traditional Zelda experience. I know I can't be the only one out there. I want my traditional Zelda back for a little bit, and then we can go back to all this. The exploration in Tears of the Kingdom it's just over the top. I mean, there's always something to explore. You have, and it's crazy in Tears of the Kingdom because not only do you have the sky, but you have the depths as well, you know, and that the depths were crazy. Like trying to figure that all out, that was something else. I think the inclusion of the Ultra Hand definitely set this game for me above Breath of the Wild, because that Ultra Hand, like building stuff, and I'm not one that's super creative. I don't play Minecraft. I don't play those types of games, but building stuff was so much fun. Using resources to build your weapons, build a house, for heaven's sake. That's crazy. Build a house in Tears of the Kingdom. For me, what makes it the best game of 2023 is definitely, like I said, that sense of exploration and discovering the entire map and being amazed when I came across something that I wasn't expecting to be there, right? That sense of discovery it's wild in Tears of the Kingdom. I also do really like the fact that you got your champions there with you. You got some companions to kind of roll by your side. And I know a lot of people didn't really appreciate that in the game, but I actually did really enjoy it. I think I put about 120 hours into Tears of the Kingdom, beat it, and I definitely have no regrets for spending that much time in the game. Really, I enjoyed every single hour that I spent with that game. And that's definitely the reason why The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is my favorite game of 2023. All right, so those are my 10 favorite games of 2023, top 10 games of 2023. Guys, let me know what you think about my list. And definitely let me know what games are on your top 10. As far as last year goes, what were some of your favorite games? As always, I want to thank all of you for watching this video, and I'll check you next time. Peace.